Anybody else coming on or no?
All right. Welcome to Sideline Sports, here with John Shearer, Rob, and myself, JB Ellis. A little different tonight. I know Jake is a little bit under the weather. Got his COVID vaccine. Make sure everyone's doing that, right, John?
Yep, except me.
Look at John. Anti-vaxxer, huh?
Anti-COVID vaxxer. All the other vaccinations are good, but not COVID vaccine. But you know that. You had to know that, I was going to bring something different to that table.
Why is that, John? You're scaring me already.
I don't want to get into the whole semantics of
I just
whether I believe in the
because we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk sports tonight.
I believe the COVID vaccine is a sham. I'll give you that little tidbit. Look, I'm over here sitting at the Thanksgiving kids table while you guys are just sitting at, with all the adults. I'm just going to go sit with the, at the kids table at Thanksgiving. So, with my thoughts on that. So that's cool.
I'm still waiting on the vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson one is the one they're having problems with. But, here in New York State, it's kind of tough to get the vaccine. I'm on the waiting list. I'm trying to schedule it. But, there's no rush. Whenever I get it, I get it. Because you still have to pretty much everywhere you go wear a mask. So it's not like you get it and it's like off come the mask. So it really doesn't matter.
Look, if you guys are in a commercial, if you guys are part of that like lawsuit type of commercial in like 15 years where it's like, if you got the COVID vaccine 15 years ago, you're entitled to this kind of money. I'm sorry if you become part of that like lawsuit, thing where you're like that mesothelioma commercial or whatever. Like, sorry.
Wow. I think we've hit
I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of that.
John, do you live your life in fear, John?
No, I don't. Clearly not. Say what's on my mind.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Scared.
Should be.
I am. That's all.
I told you before, you haven't seen all the crazy in here. You've only seen a little bit. So that's why you're a little bit scared.
It's coming out at full force.
Jake isn't even here tonight. Maybe I scared him away after last week.
Jake's vaccinated, as am I. You're not.
See,
Rob's waiting.
He's already missing shows. He's already missing shows.
We're 2-1-1.
You've missed shows. He's missed shows. It's because of the COVID vaccine. It's part of the side effect.
Wow. Everybody gets different side effects.
Yeah.
What's the backgroground you got there, man? Looks like the Oregon State Beavers in the background.
Oh, man, that's the O's.
The Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, man.
That's the O's.
My bad.
I like your hat, though.
Orioles.
I'm digging the hat. Even though I'm not an Indians fan, I'm digging the hat.
I'm not either. I just bought it because I went into Lids one time. Nice looking. Yeah, $10. So, yeah. Not a big Indians fan either, but it's not. I wear different hats like this, so, yep.
We'll get along well, Rob. I'm a hat.
Yeah.
I like the minor league hats. There's so many cool looking ones.
Yep.
So let's start with the NFL draft. So obviously we all think Trevor Lawrence is going to be number one, right?
Yep.
What's happening after that? Who's going number two? That's
an interesting debate. The Jets. I think the Jets are going to honestly take Zach Wilson. I think he's the flair and the flash that they want. I mean, I don't think he's better than Justin Fields. Honestly, I would take Justin Fields with the number 2 pick. But the Jets in the past have been known for messing up with their draft picks and the way they run their team. But it'll be interesting. I think it's probably going to be Zach Wilson. And then with the 49ers pick, I'm hearing a lot about Mac Jones. But I don't understand why would the 49ers trade up the 3rd to take Mac Jones? Like, you can't miss on a guy like Justin Fields. That guy's, like a top prospect. He can make all the throws. He ran a 4.4 in the combine, like the fastest for the quarterback since, what was it, Mike Vick, I think? Or Lamar Jackson, I think, ran it faster.
Ohio State, though. Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't do well with quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
What was their last good quarterback in the NFL?
Ohio State?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while. Yeah. Miami hasn't had a good one either. The Hurricanes, I think Ken Dorsey was a good quarterback for Miami, but he had all that talent on that Miami team, like, Jeremy Shockey. Yeah, probably Bernie Kosar. Might have been Jim Kelly.
That's a long time ago.
Bernie Kosar and Jim Kelly, yeah.
It's been a while,
The last time the Miami Hurricanes had a top quarterback that made the NFL. Real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. There's been talks I've been hearing about Trevor Lawrence that he doesn't have a huge chip on his shoulder heading into the NFL. Do you think he's really passionate about football? Do you think he really cares about the game? He's going to put his all into it, because there were some talks about him not being, passionate, and he kind of talked about it the other day. He said he cares about the game, and he really wants to put his all into it, but he has other things on his mind. You think he's all in?
What other things, as the number one draft pick, what other things should he have on his mind?
That's the thing. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. That's how he's going to make his money in life. What else should be on his mind, John? Tell me. You think outside the box. Tell me.
I do. See, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I mean, not every player has to have a chip on their shoulder. I mean, if you're the first pick, why are you going to really have a chip on your shoulder? You probably won't, unless somebody wronged you somewhere, somehow, or somebody told you can't do this or can't do that. So I get it, him saying that. But at the same time, I've been saying this all along. He concerns me. Oh, there's our guy, Alex Fleming.
Alex,
how you doing, guys?
welcome.
I know you're on break from work, so give us your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence's comments about not having a chip on his shoulder, maybe not being as passionate as we think he should be as the number one pick.
I have no problem with it because since high school, he's been touted as a number one prospect. Guys, he delivered a championship to Clemson as a freshman-sophomore. I don't believe he redshirted. Tore apart Alabama. Tore them apart. And as far as I'm concerned, he was in another national championship game where LSU was highly loaded with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Mr. Mitchell, who's also going to be a second-round pick wide receiver, Homeboy, the tight end. I can't quite remember his name. I believe it's Mr. Moss's son. I mean, that LSU squad was stacked. And he got into a shootout with the second-best quarterback available in this year's draft, in Justin Fields. I've been writing about Trevor Lawrence before Trevor Lawrence was even in Jacksonville. Bro, nothing is going to change the trajectory of where Trevor Lawrence is going. They're already selling Messiah t-shirts and Band-Aids of Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. It's going to happen. But I wanted to talk to JB. One, long time no see. Two, wrong narrative. I believe Justin Fields is being a victim of a lot of the hypocrisy, trying to tear him down while building other people up. Newsflash, before Deshaun Watson, Clemson wasn't known as a quarterback university either. They've had a jaded past when it came to quarterback history. So why Ohio State doesn't have successful quarterbacks doesn't mean a damn thing. North Dakota State doesn't have a successful quarterback. Wentz is a bum. He didn't win that Super Bowl, and now he's on his second team. Georgia, how many successful quarterbacks came out of there? You want to count Matthew Stafford? Okay, let's count Matthew Stafford. Past Matthew Stafford, how many good Georgia quarterbacks have there been? Exactly. This narrative that Ohio State's never had a successful quarterback, that's talking points. You might as well say all lives matter. All right? That's all that means when you say Ohio State doesn't have any successful quarterbacks, because it's nonsense. It's the regular rigmarole. Justin Fields belongs in San Francisco, if not the Jets. Sunshine is going to sell a lot of tickets in Jacksonville. And guys, you saw the verdict today. I don't want to talk about it, but we got to talk about it. It is sports related, whether you like it or not, because it's going to change the aspect of how we view and see sport.
Question for you on that. You saw what the Raiders tweeted out. What was that?
A tone-deaf message, them trying to be woke, and they ended up getting grilled. Bro, I Can Breathe for 2021. First and foremost, it's 420. Everybody knows what 420 is. Okay, this is a Sesame Street. Number two, I Can Breathe, silver and black. Oh, that's beautiful, Vegas. You should have stayed in Oakland, where you might have had a chance to say you were tone-deaf and stupid. Bro, I hope you guys get barbecued more than some smoky damn ribs. What the hell are y'all thinking? Trying to be woke at the wrong period of time? How about you put a picture of him in handcuffs and then say, I can breathe again? But no, I can breathe for 2021. 8 minutes and 46 seconds it take me to think about that? There's going to be an opening in the social media department in Vegas. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, it was. I just don't get where that came from. Looking through Twitter before the show, the Mets put out a message which was really great. I tweeted it back at Oakland so that they could see how a message should be delivered. The Clippers had a video which was really good. I get everybody wants to say something. That's the tone of the world now. All the corporations and teams and everybody's got a statement on everything, which is great. But before you hit send, think about what you're going to say.
I agree with you, JB, but I'm in a lot of these football chat rooms and social media sites and Instagram, and let me tell you, bro, the white powder movement is upset to the infinite degree today, bro. Like, I'm in the AFC South trash talk division, and I got people saying that these people need to learn how to follow directions and that these animals are still going to riot. And I mean, it's just, bro, they're exposing themselves. It's like, make America great again. Let's step on some necks. They're mad because they don't want equality. They don't want their daughters coming home to people who look like me. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want their daughter coming home to people who look like me either. But that's besides the point. They don't believe in equality, bro. They believe that they're superior in any way, shape, or form. And they see that grip getting weaker. Anytime you have equality, someone feels disenfranchised. And right now, I believe the caucus of the American public feels disenfranchised because now they're going to be held accountable for their actions. Key word, accountability.
That's the way it should be. But if you think back, this week it was Jackie Robinson's anniversary of playing in the major leagues. You have Hank Aaron who broke the home run record. To think what he had to deal with, and that was 40, 50 years ago. How much has it changed since then?
Not much.
We're still dealing with some of the stuff that no one should have to deal with.
Mr. Ellis, Mr. Shear, I'm going to share something with you on my show. I built a house in 2018 from the ground up. Didn't get paid for it because I built it. Started to fall behind, and a white lady moved in. She called the cops on me in my own damn house. Guess who got arrested? Exactly. Nothing's changed. Not a damn thing's changed. I can pay all the bills. I can have the mortgage. I can have the utilities. Hell, I can have the cable in my name. But all we have to have is someone in trouble or feel threatened, and I could be kicked from my own damn home. Now I'm starting the process all over again. She doesn't even live there anymore. What does this tell you? Privilege. She can ruin my life in a heartbeat while I have to stack up and walk all over again. You know the work I put in. I know the work I put in. I see that as a stepping stone. Let's look at society as a whole. Dwayne Wright was shot. Oh, I thought it was my taser, even though the taser is 60% lighter than your handgun with a full clip. Philando Castile, hey, NRA member. I'm sorry, I felt threatened. He had a gun in the car, even though it was legal and registered. I mean, we could go on. Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, hell, Emmett Till. Our society has advanced much. Today was a wake-up call for ignorance. It was one of those ratios against the mean. Yeah. Wake up time. Accountability. And now that you are going to be held accountable for my actions, just like yours, I think we're going to see a little bit less ignorance on the national scale.
Fully hope. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a cop to begin with. It's a tough job. And then, I've always in my heart believed that most are good, but you have the 1%, just like of anything. You have the 1% that, do bad things. And they're now with social media, it's called out, because if you would think, it's hard to believe everybody's bad, but it's good to see that there was justice in this matter. That's really what it comes down to.
All I have to say is that you people are going to start treating us as equals. You people, not you people, but you people.
What a crazy idea. Equals.
Y'all got hell on your hands, bro. Wait till I get off of work. I'm going to fire your ass up. I'm going to throw more nuts at you than a squirrel with Parkinson's.
It's good to see justice was served today, but, cops will definitely start thinking twice before they act. And, you're still going to have good cops and bad cops out there. Like with any profession, you have good people and bad people out there, but definitely wake up call for cops to, do your job the right way and watch what you do before you do it. Otherwise, you're going to pay the consequences and, end up dead or in jail. So probably in jail, but,
I don't
it's
believe
just a
that
wake up.
cops even believe in their own damn profession. I mean, what makes somebody want to be a cop? You were bullied in high school. You didn't like black folks. Somebody of color stole your girlfriend. So now you got to be put in a position of power to where you have handcuffs and you can kill people and say, hey, I felt for my life. Well, you know what? Now your life should feel threatened, because if you don't do your job right, my life is going to mean just as much as yours, which it should have been that way long before I was born. Bro, it's 2021 and we're still having race issues. All right?
Yeah.
Disgusted with it.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm
it
concerned,
is.
I feel no sympathy for any cop in America. Let this be your last and final warning. You treat me different than Mr. America stock market over there, it's time to pay the piper.
See,
There
I
should be no
think
difference.
I think
Yeah,
that the downside people won't talk about is, to piggyback on what Rob said, is cops have to think twice about what their actions are. And in some situations, that might get them killed, where it's not a situation where, like one of these situations, it might be a situation where, not to get off topic of sports, but just where they're in a situation with somebody and they're thinking twice, and it's a situation where they have to react and not really think. And then because of other cops that screwed up, now these cops have to think twice in what they're doing when they shouldn't, when they
There's a way to
know
fix
what,
that.
you know what I'm saying? But that's not
The
their
way to
fault.
fix that is training, though. Because
Yeah,
if you have
I'm
to,
just
if you have
saying.
to think twice about what you're doing, there's a problem with what you're
Well, I'm
doing.
saying from what Rob said, that they might
Yeah.
have to think twice. And there's situations where you can't think, you just have to do.
You
So I
can't
don't know.
piss on my back and tell me it's raining when you say you thought it was your taser and you didn't see the light.
Well, I'm not talking about situations like that. I'm just talking about other
Or
more
Bunkin
intense.
Jean, who was shot in front of his own damn apartment because she thought that he had the wrong apartment. It's like stupid excuses that give them lighter sentences. I don't give a damn if you thought the 12-year-old threatened you in the park as he was playing with a toy gun, or Emmett Till was walking down the street and flirt with a white girl, or this black guy that doesn't belong in the neighborhood of Sanford, beat some old man's ass with a Skittle and a can of tea. It keeps happening. And until it stops happening, there will be no justice, because there will be no peace. They called in the National Guard just in case there was a not guilty verdict. How in the hell could you find not guilty on this? The prosecuting attorney killed the defense's plea of trying to say it was an accidental knee to the neck. So miss me with that. Please miss me with that. Dear white people, because it's mostly just white people with an issue. If you have an issue with my skin tone, you have an issue with the way I talk, and you have an issue with me doing these events and doing things that you're not used to seeing people like me do, turn off the TV, disconnect your internet, and for God's sake, go to church, because shit's not going to change for you. It's only going to get worse. It's 2021, and your time of supremacy is over.
Yeah, I don't think racism is ever going to go away. But if you don't like somebody because of their skin color, I mean, the best thing to do is just keep it to yourself. But going back, like when you're coming up in school, everybody feels more comfortable hanging out with their own race or their own type of people. So that's just pretty much like the way it is when you're in school, like middle school, high school, elementary. Everybody feels comfortable around their own people. They don't feel comfortable being around a group of other people that aren't the same skin color as them. It makes them uncomfortable. And that's how you learn how to make new friends and learn about different races and cultures.
Yeah.
Is by being uncomfortable. You have to hang around different people.
One of my favorite things about life is the fact that we're all different. You know how boring it would be if everybody was like me? It would suck. And I love me. But
it would be
if everybody
looked
the same, it'd be a boring world. If everybody's skin color was the same, so it's like you can't control what skin color you're born. So it's like you accept it, and that's it. The way you are is the way you are. The way you look is the way you look. It's like that's what you are. You either accept it or.
But do you know how fun it would be? Do you know how fun it would be if there was more of me?
No. What is the limit? One.
Then more Johns. Doesn't matter what skin color I would have. Like more Johns in general. You could just clone me, all different skin colors. Doesn't matter. And just more of me, more of my personality in the world. Just spawn me. That'd be great. That'd be fun. I'd enjoy it. I don't know about you guys, but I would enjoy it.
At the end of the day, everybody's their own individual person, regardless of what what their skin color is. Your skin color has nothing to do with how you act. Everything's all in the mind. It's all the individual. Everybody is different. Every person is different. So you have to look at every person like they're different. This person is an individual. They're a human being, regardless of what they look like, their skin color, if they have tattoos, like whatever they are, that's it. It's an individual. They're a person. They're entitled to their opinions. They're entitled to look a certain way and like a certain way. And you just have to respect that. You shouldn't hate them for it. If you don't like what they do, don't hang out with them. Don't be friends with them.
Exactly.
Just keep to yourself. Find other friends. That's it. That's what you pretty much got to do.
It's like people that complain about the TV shows. If you don't like the show, change the channel.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
watch it.
And actually,
you're tired of hearing the news, turn off the news. You don't want to watch the Chauvin trial, turn it off. You don't want to watch basketball, you turn it off. You do something else. You find something else to do.
The people that look different, actually, once you get to know them, the people that you think are different and stuff, and once you get to know them, typically they're actually pretty cool. I mean, typically, like when I'm at work or I see somebody like that's a little different and I actually get to know them, like they're actually pretty cool people. I mean, I like my previous job, I worked with a family that was from Africa and they were really cool. Like I took the time to get to know them, obviously, and they're really cool. There's a lot about their culture that like fascinated me, that I didn't know. There was a lot of stereotypes that they broke for me. Thank you. And it was really cool just to learn about their culture and how their life is completely different than ours. And there's nothing wrong with that. Really interesting. So, you learn stuff from other people and there's nothing wrong with that. I love learning about other people's cultures. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I agree.
Biggest thing is you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, the first time you hang out with a different group of people, you're going to be scared. You're going to think like, oh, what do they think of me? What are they going to do to me? But, like once you get to know them, you talk to them, you might turn out that you like them. So you never know until you hang out with them. So if you stay with one group of people and just hate another person because of their skin color, like you're never going to learn anything. So the whole point is learning,
And the biggest thing with the whole thing, like you said, with the police job, just got to train them to, you got to have mental health counseling on the job so that this way, when there's something that's wrong, they pick it up before the person's on the street and, they have training so they don't ever second guess because, they shouldn't have to.
Why not just take, we're not trying to get off sports, but this stuff is very important. So that's why we're talking about it. Why not just take all the cops? I mean, there's all the other professions, like big professions, like being a firefighter and stuff like that, and an EMT and stuff like that. You really have to be like trained to the max. With a cop, you really don't got. I mean, I know you go through academy, but you really don't go through that much to where it takes to be a cop. Not that I'm saying, not that I'm downgrading it, but you should have to go through a lot more. Is what I'm saying to be a cop. You should have to go through a rigorous amount of training. Just like you do a teacher, to be a teacher, you got to go through a hell of a lot of school to be a teacher. It should be the same way with a cop, where you have to go through a hell of a lot to be a cop. So that way they know that you're cut out for the job. Just like a teacher, just like a firefighter, just like EMT, any of those big positions, same should go with the cop. But I feel like cop gets the least amount of, you have to go through the least amount in regards to what JB was saying.
Well, I mean, think about a football team, how much practice they put in.
Exactly.
We're talking about,
3 days. Yep.
Think about how many practices he has before a game. A cop should have to do the same thing before he goes out on the street,
Good point.
That's how we can relate this to sports,
Yeah.
And they're watching their physical, their mental well-being throughout the whole season. So it should be the same, But what's your guys' overall opinion now, though? How I mentioned with Alex, how all these teams and organizations, everybody's got something they're saying on social media now. I mean, do we need to hear from different teams and corporations, or is that a good thing, a bad thing?
It's good that they're speaking out and they actually care about what's going on, like in America. But there's other issues going on at the same time. Like you still have all these mass shootings going on. There's people that are walking into places like FedEx and grocery stores and stuff. They definitely need some type of mental health counseling because, you can't have these people getting access to guns and, they're walking in the stores shooting people for no reason. And you don't know why they're shooting people. So they need to get counseling just as much as we need to do something about the racism and the police brutality and all that stuff too as well. But it's good. It's good that the teams are and the players are speaking out. But I just wish some of these guys would just do it in private and not make it so like public. I mean, if they make it public, sometimes you just have to be careful with what you say to not offend people, because nowadays whenever you go out in public, everybody has a phone. Everybody can take a picture of you. You have to be careful what you like post and say on social media, especially if you're like an athlete, because then people are going to fire back at you and question what you say. Whereas if I say something on social media, people might get offended about certain things I say if I say something wrong, but I'm not going to get the scrutiny that an athlete would get. Someone like a Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant's going at it with Michael Rappaport or some fans that are criticizing him, you're gonna hear about the next day on Undisputed or The Herd or any big sports talk show out there.
Well, I thought that if you're talking about that in general, I thought that was weak by Michael Rappaport to put out the tweets the text that Kevin Durant sent to him. That's private. Like between you two, your conversation, your jabbing that you're having between each other. What Durant said to Rappaport, that's private between those two. And that's kind of like a Bush League move for Rappaport to be like, okay, I'm gonna go for the low blow and tweet out what you said in a text. Like, no, keep those texts between you two. The conversation is supposed to stay between the two of you. I don't want to see what you guys are. It's not my business. It's not anybody else's. I thought that was a low blow move by Rappaport. Even though Durant shouldn't say things like that, it should stay between him and Rappaport and not leak out. I thought that was Bush League. If you guys saw what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Those guys could have kind of settled it, kind of like
behind closed doors.
Off social media. Yeah, that sometimes you need to just do that. You just to say, listen, man, I don't have a problem with you. Let's just settle this, off social media. We don't need to go public with these things. And a lot of
League to do that. Yeah,
a lot of athletes do that. They're trying to just get attention. So it's to get attention. Like if an athlete donates $1 million or does this, they have to make it like public. Like, why can't you just do some of these things in private? Like, not everybody needs to know like your business behind closed doors, like with your family or all that stuff. Like, that's kind of like private business. So keep it private.
Exactly. And like when you look, people don't realize the internet lives forever. I mean, I tell that to people all the time. You want to post something, you got to think before you post. So once you hit send, that's it. You can never take it back. It's out there. And once it's out there, you said it. You're done.
Especially with photos.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, forget it. Once you send a photo, especially those clowns that do that to women, send those photos. Like, once you send that, it's out there. Like, there's no getting that back. You can't get that back. It's out there. It's forever.
Trolling. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
yeah, let's get back to the draft now.
Let's get back to sports.
So, all right. So, who do we think the Jets are taking at number 2? Which quarterback?
I don't think they take a QB.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Jets screw it up, and I think they take Devonta Smith.
You think so? Wow.
It's just because it's the Jets. If it was anybody else, I would say they go Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. But it's the Jets. You never know what they're thinking. They always do something wacky. And I know they got Robert Saleh, but I just never trust the Jets to make the right decision. And I think they're going to end up surprising everybody and taking like Devonta Smith or something. Or maybe even reaching for Kyle Pitts. Well, I love Kyle Pitts, but if you're a Jets, Kyle Pitts isn't the right move. Penny Sewell is the right move.
Penny Sewell, yeah. Yeah, you really never know. And what would happen if the Jacksonville Jaguars passed on Trevor Lawrence and actually took Justin Fields with the first pick? Like, what would you think of that? I mean, because Urban Meyer did coach at Ohio State, so he has ties to Ohio State, and I'm sure he likes Justin Fields. But Trevor Lawrence is the better prospect. Like, what would that do to the draft? That would really shake up things big time because the Jets would be pretty much forced to take Trevor Lawrence. And I'm wondering if the Jets take Trevor Lawrence, does Trevor Lawrence even want to go to New York? Because this is a guy who's played his whole career in the South. I don't know if he could deal with the pressure of like playing in New York, because years ago, like back in the 2004 draft, what was it? The Giants took Phillip Rivers and the Chargers took Eli Manning.
Yeah,
Eli Manning didn't want to play in with the
Said he would
Chargers, so
never
said,
play
"Trade me."
down.
And I think it happened back in '83 too. If you go back to the 1983 NFL draft, I think the Colts took John Elway, and he didn't want to play in Indy, and they ended up trading him. So would that happen if Trevor Lawrence was the fall to number 2, and the Jets say we're drafting you? Would Trevor Lawrence say, "Don't draft me out, because if you do, I'm going to want out. Like, trade me right away"? If that were to happen, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just hypothetically.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I would love to see where, what will the Jets decide to do? Do they have, because I don't like the Jets move to trade Darnold. I mean, I don't think they gave him a fair shot, and I don't think there's anybody they're getting in the 2 spot, because Trevor Lawrence is the best out there.
Yeah.
Who are they getting that's going to be a franchise quarterback this year at number 2? It's not like the year Mayfield came out. You had Mayfield, Jackson. Who else was in that draft? There was another quarterback that was decent.
Was it Mahomes in that draft too, or no? Mahomes?
No, that was the year before,
Was
I
it?
believe. But
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like the move. I think they're in a bad spot. I don't think they're going to be better this year. Now,
That's
before the.
See, that's why I think the Jets should, because Lawrence is the only guy where you can say, yeah, he should be a surefire quarterback. All the others, you can have your question marks. I mean, I do have question marks for Lawrence, but if you're the Jets, all those other guys have question marks. So why not just take Sewell, pair him up with Mekhi Becton, and then prepare for the following year, getting a great quarterback at the beginning of the draft. That way you solidify your line. And then a year later, when you get your quarterback, you have your anchors, your 2 anchors on the outside to protect it. That's why I think it would be a great move to do that. Because if you get Fields or whoever, Zach Wilson, he's going to suffer the same fate as Sam Darnold. I mean, you got Mekhi Becton, and that's it. You need linemen. Penny Sewell's a surefire guy, in my opinion. So him and Becton would be amazing together. They're both super young. Get a quarterback next year, because you're not going anywhere this year anyway. That's why I think Sewell makes the most sense for the Jets there. But they're not going to do it.
And you know what? They have all those draft picks anyway coming up. They could trade up next year. And I don't know who the next quarterback is. Who's the next big-name quarterback for the next season? They would know?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked into all that.
The whole COVID thing with the way the season was threw me off. I don't know too many of the guys coming out this year. Who's better or not.
They have 2 first-rounders next year.
Yeah, they could trade up.
It'll definitely be interesting what the Jets do. The 49ers got that third pick. I think they're talking about Mac Jones or Justin Fields. I think you can't really pass on Justin Fields. I know they still have Jimmy Garoppolo. I think with Justin Fields is a guy you can put him in right away if Jimmy Garoppolo were to get hurt or struggle. I don't think the 49ers training up to 3 had Mac Jones in their plans. Like, he just doesn't fit the prototypical quarterback of today. He's not athletic. He can't run in the pocket. Like, if Justin Fields is at 3, I don't think you could pass on Justin Fields. Like, I don't see the 49ers doing that.
But if they do take a quarterback, he's starting over Garoppolo. If Garoppolo is still there, you can't pick a quarterback at 3, trade up to the 3 spot, and then sit that quarterback. You can't do that. Because you used all that capital to get into win now mode, to start your win now mode, because your team is built.
You don't
mortgage your future with all them draft picks you gave up.
I just want to understand this. You're okay with benching Tua twice as your starter?
That has nothing to do with it. I'm saying picks wise, you gave up.
I'm comparing the situation.
But the situations are completely different because the Dolphins didn't trade up to 5. They did not trade up to 5. The Niners traded from 12 to 3. You gave up a lot of draft picks. You have to get a quarterback in that position. Okay? You have to. And if you take a quarterback at 3 after trading up from 12, you're starting that guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know Garoppolo is not the future. We all know it. So if you draft a guy at 3 after trading up, you have to start him. I mean, there's no way. It's not like this team is in rebuild. This team is a team that's built to win right now. And with a good enough rookie quarterback and Kyle Shanahan, you can do it. Depending on who that quarterback is. Depending on if you make the right move or not. Justin Fields isn't the right move, but that's just my opinion.
Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be happy being a backup quarterback if he has to?
It doesn't matter if he's happy.
Mac Jones or Justin Fields, you think that he's going to be happy? Do you think he'll demand a trade? You see Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded this year. If they draft Justin,
what are you going to get out of damaged? I'm not even going to say goods because he's not a good quarterback. What are you going to get out of a damaged, decent player? Not much, in my opinion. He's starting to head towards 30, a couple of knee injuries.
Going to get a 5th round
Never
draft.
been that good. What are you really going to get out of a guy that's going to demand a trade with a big contract?
The only other place I could see Jimmy Garoppolo going is back to New England where he was before. Because, but the Patriots already signed Cam Newton to a 1 year, was it $14 million? I think they overpaid him for that 1 year. Jimmy Garoppolo, Bill Belichick liked Jimmy Garoppolo. He didn't want to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. The only reason he was forced to trade him is because Robert Kraft said, listen, Tom Brady's our quarterback. We don't want Garoppolo taking over. So Bill Belichick, if Bill Belichick could take Jimmy Garoppolo back, he would. He would take Jimmy Garoppolo back in a heartbeat.
But that was also when he had a lot more potential when he was just starting out. We've seen what Garoppolo is now. The league knows what he is. He has a limited ceiling. He's kind of a statue in the pocket. He doesn't fit today's mold. He's not a great thrower of the football. He's pretty decent, but he's not great. Like, there's nothing really about Garoppolo that wows you, in my opinion. Like, what does he do that you can really say, okay, this is our guy? Like, he has people like his face. That's it.
Same thing with Mac Jones, though. Mac Jones is kind of similar. He's a stand in the pocket quarterback. He had all that great talent in Alabama to throw to. He had a good running back. He's not a guy that's going to wow you. He's not razzle dazzle. So. I don't
believe in Mac Jones personally. I just don't believe in Mac Jones. I don't believe in him. I just haven't. Nothing about him really wows me. He's got the big arm, but Mac Jones doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah, let's go to the 4th pick, Atlanta Falcons. Who do you see the Falcons taking at 4? What do you guys like? I went on Bryce's show a few weeks ago, and we talked about this on who the Falcons are going to take. What do you guys think the Falcons do? Then they keep the pick, they trade down. I've been hearing some talks about the Dolphins trading up to at 4, possibly maybe to get Kyle Pitts. I don't see the Dolphins doing that either. I think
you don't trade back from 3 to move to 6 to move to 4. That's stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. JB, what do you think?
If I'm playing Madden, I'm trading everything to get as much as I can. So, but in real life, that doesn't happen. That's why I should be a GM. But I don't know. The Falcons, they just don't. I don't know how they run their organization. I figure they're going to make a pick they don't need. Look for a wide receiver.
Kyle Pitts?
Possibly, because they'll do the backup stuff. They're always confused with.
See, this pick is really hard for me to nail down because obviously it depends on what happens with the first 3. I think if Zach Wilson falls there, then they take Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson doesn't fall there, then they take Justin Fields. If he falls, they want one of those 2 guys. If neither are there, I think they end up going Kyle Pitts. I think they love Kyle Pitts.
You see them go with Justin Fields, quarterback?
Yeah, I really do see them going Fields if he's there. Like I said, if Fields or Wilson are there.
Hang on one second. You got Fields. Do you play Ryan? Do you play Fields? You have
to play Ryan because of that gigantic contract. You can't get rid of his contract. There's so much dead money. You can't get rid of Ryan. So you're basically just paying top of the league money for a quarterback. Matt Ryan's still really, really good. I believe in Matt Ryan. I know Alex doesn't because he's a Bucs fan, but I still believe Matt Ryan's a really, really good quarterback. And if they had a defense, they would be a good team. But they don't have a defense, and they never work with defense.
Is it always his fault that every year is it always the defense? Every year.
For the last couple of years, I think it has been. The defense has been really bad, and they've just been hit with injuries like Julio getting hurt, and they've always had injuries. They do need a tight end. And Kyle Pitts would fit well.
Hayden Hurst isn't.
He's not bad. Hayden Hurst. He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's not horrible.
I don't know if you need a quarterback. I still think Matt Ryan can still put up good numbers. He's still, what is he, like 35, 36?
I think
36?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
getting
can
up
still-
there though.
He's getting up there.
He still can play.
He still can play. Yeah, you give him the right weapons. He's still a good quarterback.
No, he
I
has
mean,
the right
It's
weapons.
really, yeah, he has the right weapons. You have Julio Jones. You have Calvin Ridley. You have
He
that
just-
other wide receiver. What's his name? The other guy.
Yeah.
Third.
they have Russell Gage. They have
Russell Gage. Yeah, Russell Gage.
Yeah. But they don't have a run game. That's the problem. They've never really
Yeah.
had a run game. Devontae Freeman was a little bit overrated in his prime. Todd Gurley, we know his knees are
Gurley's
shot.
Yeah. He wasn't the
His knees
same
are
when he
shot.
left the Rams.
So-
yeah.
Matt Ryan's never really had a run game as a problem. And you can have all the great receivers you want, but it's hard
need a
to
running
in
game.
the NFL if you don't have a run game because you become predictable. And Matt Ryan's never really had that. He's always had Brian Hill and guys like that. Tevin Coleman was overrated. My opinion.
Kevin
Devontae
Coleman
Freeman-
was really like a third down back.
Yeah,
If he tried
yeah.
to make it every down back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't the right move.
yeah, they never really had a running back. So maybe if they snatch a running back in the second round somewhere, Travis Etienne if he's still there or something, I think that would be really helpful. Not in the first round, but maybe later in the draft. It could help Matt Ryan. So I think you're right there, Rob. Personally, I don't think they should go quarterback because kind of like in a no-win spot, the 4 spot, all those quarterbacks are going to be gone.
But you're going to play Ryan.
Falcons got Mike Davis, who was a good backup last year to McCaffrey, but he's not
Yeah.
obviously your starting quarterback. So if you could get a running back in one of the later rounds, whether it be like Travis Etienne or Najee Harris.
It's
or
a hard
another
spot
guy.
for the Falcons. It's a
Yeah,
hard
it's tough. It's tough.
Falcons aren't going to do anything.
You get
They're
Penei
going
Sewell at 4. You think the Falcons need an offensive lineman? Penei Sewell at 4.
It's
That would be a
Sewell at
good
4.
move for them. It can
Yeah.
never hurt to improve your line. Ask the Giants. We
definitely.
haven't done it year after year.
Yep. And at 5, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. You think the Cincinnati Bengals go wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow's buddy, former teammate, LSU?
No.
Wow.
You don't think they go Jamar Chase?
No.
No?
I think they're okay at the wide receiver spot.
I think they still need a wide receiver 1 because I like Tyler Boyd and I like T. Higgins.
It was really, really good.
I don't see those guys as 1. I think if Joe Burrow played with Jamar Chase at LSU, I think he's going to want him.
It
as
won't
his
matter.
one.
If he gets Jamar Chase, he's still gonna get destroyed next year when he comes back from his torn ACL. I mean, he
Yeah.
has no line.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't matter
another
if you have
thing.
all the receivers in the world when you're dead.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
That's why Penei Sewell
Really?
is the right pick. We really never know. We never know what these GMs and these guys are thinking. Obviously, they're scouting the pro days, looking at the different quarterbacks and players. So we really never know. That's why you have these games online, predict the top 5 or the top 10 picks in the draft. You never know what's going to happen when you make those picks. There's always trades and there's always all type of moves. You really never know. So, but yeah, let's just look at 5. Like, who do you guys see the Bengals taking at 5? Who do you think they take? Go offensive line?
I think no. JB, go ahead.
No, I think they have to go offensive line. Their biggest investment was Burrow, and he got killed.
Yep. He saw the ghost of RG3 on FedEx Field. That's where his season ended, just like RG3's knees ended there. So you got to be careful. You don't want to become RG3. Great quarterback coming out. Career ending on FedEx Field. You don't want that. You want an offensive lineman. You want Penei Sewell. But Bengals are the Bengals. We know what the Bengals do. So the Bengals are going to do exactly what they do. They're going to take Jamar Chase.
Yep, it'll definitely be interesting. Okay, we're at number 6, Miami Dolphins, our team, John and I's team. What do you think the Dolphins take at 6?
That'll do it for tonight's show, guys. We don't have
Yeah.
Dolphins fans here.
Yeah.
We'll talk Dolphins, Heat, all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
just-
great show.
You guys just want to do the top 10 of the draft? We can just do
Yeah.
maybe the top 10 picks and then move on to NBA or MLB. Anything else going on?
Yeah, we can do top 10.
So I'm looking here at the CBS mock draft. They have Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver out of Alabama.
No.
I don't think that's the right move.
No.
Yeah, I don't
What do you
think so.
guys think?
I don't think so either. I mean, even though he played with Tua at Alabama, I think the Dolphins need a dynamic tight end. They need a guy that Tua can throw the ball to, like a a go-to guy, a guy like in the trenches. Like Kyle Pitts is more than just a tight end. He can be a wide receiver. Like he has the body of a wide receiver. This guy, he's the top pass catching prospect in the draft. You know, if he's available at 6, I don't think you can pass on a guy like that. There's no way you can pass on a guy like that. Just
to show you what I'm looking at. So this is to recap with CBS. They have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones to San Fran, Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, Jamar Chase to the Bengals, and that's how they got Waddle to the Dolphins. Because you said Pitts, he wouldn't be available according to their board. That doesn't mean it's right.
Oh. And I think Jalen Waddle could possibly go to the Dolphins because I don't know if the Dolphins would draft Devontae Smith. I heard Devontae Smith saying he's not a fan of Tua. He actually liked Mac Jones better than him. Doesn't mean the Dolphins don't draft him, but that would be interesting. The Dolphins could also go Jamar Chase at 6 if Jamar Chase is available. That's also a possibility.
If that mock draft holds true for the first 5, here's what's going to happen. Here's what should happen. The Dallas Cowboys should jump on number 6 pick, trade with the Dolphins, and take Micah Parsons in front of the Detroit Lions. That's what should happen. If the Dolphins don't get what they want there, Dolphins should jump back to 10. And the Cowboys should steal Micah Parsons from the Lions.
No, according to this, the Lions have taken Justin Fields.
I don't see how Justin Fields falls to 7. There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way in hell.
No way.
Well, 6 and 5 don't need a quarterback.
Right. But there's no way he falls
out. Not going to play. And then you have the top 3 quarterbacks. So it could happen theoretically.
If he gets to 7, then I think the Lions trade back and somebody jumps up that needs a QB. Because the Lions just traded for golf. They're not going to take a quarterback.
Now, question for you, right? Why wouldn't you take the lineman Sewell with the Dolphins? Because that line's not that good either.
Well, the Dolphins started three rookie offensive linemen last year. So, I mean, it's hard to say their line's bad when 3 rookies.
I'm not saying it's bad, but isn't Sewell supposed to be really good?
I mean, those players are developing. Robert Hunt was pretty good. Austin Jackson was only 20 years old. So, I mean, they have a lot of players. Solomon Kinley was their best offensive lineman. He was picked later in the draft. He was a rookie as well. So they had 3 linemen that have a lot of potential that played pretty well last year that were rookies. So to say their line is bad, you know, whenever Tua was being guarded by –
It was bad last year. Yes, they're developing. But it wasn't
they're developing. Yeah, overall, they need depth, right? I'm not going to say, you necessarily pass on Sewell because hell of a player, but, 3 rookie linemen, give them time to develop.
Sewell's not the sexy pick, although you can put him anywhere on the line. He's not the sexy pick. They did start 3 rookies last year. He's not the sexy pick. Like most people either want Penix or they want a pass catcher. They want to give to a weapons. We already have Devontae Parker. We have Will Fuller. They're probably going to get rid of one of the other wide receivers. They have Albert Wilson coming back. They probably get rid of Jakeem Grant or Allen Hurns. They can't keep all these wide receivers. So they're trying to surround Tua with as many weapons as they can. So that's the main goal, is to surround Tua with weapons.
Now, all right, so 7, we got the Lions. Now, according to CBS, they have Justin Fields. Now, I don't know.
That doesn't happen.
I see how we got to 7 on their board, and it kind of makes sense, with what they're saying, but I don't see him falling at 7.
Yeah, I don't. Even if he falls to 7, I think that if the Cowboys don't jump up to where we're at, I think Micah Parsons falls to the line. They love what he does, and he'd fit perfectly, I think, in Detroit. And defense is the best way to start. You want your defense to be great. So I think Parsons is perfect. Like John Mizek just said in our comments, Micah Parsons is perfect for Detroit. They're just a match made in heaven. Unless he goes to Dallas. Dallas and Parsons, I think, are a perfect match as well. Like that, either of those 2 teams, I think he would be just studly in.
So CBS has Micah Parsons at 17.
Oh, that's way too. That's only because of the character concerns, not because of how great of a player he is. But I mean, somebody's going to jump on a hell of a talent like that. They're only worried about his character concerns. That's it.
I'm telling you what I'm looking at, because
yeah.
do I think he should be 17th? No, but if we're going by this, just to kind of keep it at where we are, which it kind of fits in with Vegas. It kind of makes sense with who they say takes it. So I don't know.
I mean, they need the linebacker help, of course, but who doesn't need linebacker help? I mean, you always could use a good linebacker.
The Dolphins could use one too. I mean, we just got Bernardrick McKinney, but yeah, you always want to have a good strong defense.
The Dolphins have to re-sign Jerome Baker, who is a hell of a middle linebacker as well.
Yeah.
Not to talk too much Dolphins, but if you're going to mention it, Jerome Baker needs to be re-signed.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I need to just start a Dolphins podcast with this guy. That's just what needs.
Yeah.
That's just what needs to happen.
More
Dolphins stuff.
We'll just do all Miami sports podcasts. We'll just do all Miami sports podcasts.
Miami Heat.
Yep.
Ooh. You guys got me booing. Jake, if you're watching,
you got your Warriors shirt on.
You need to pray for me. This has been a tough show.
Jake's laughing his ass off. That's all I'm going to say.
John's killing me here with this Miami.
Yeah. We try to do it on a national level. We try not to be homers. I mean, try to be.
I try not to be.
I try to be objective. I try to be objective. I try to be real. I don't try to I am a big Miami Heat fan and Dolphins fan and Hurricanes and all the Miami teams. But at the same time, I try to be objective and take an objective approach.
Are you a Miami Marlins fan?
Yeah, I like the Marlins.
Did we beat you tonight? I don't know if the game finished.
6-5.
Yeah,
6-5.
Let me check it. Yeah,
the O's are up 1.
Yes.
It's an ugly game.
Hey, look.
Yep. Orioles.
Mancini hit a home run. I'm happy.
The Orioles are getting better, man. They're not as bad as everybody thinks. They're not the worst team in that division anymore. They're getting better. It's a competitive division.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with how hard they play.
The Rays swept the Yankees.
Ooh, I love it.
The Blue Jays,
give me more of that.
The Blue Jays
we're
are getting better.
We're not going to talk about the Yankees right now.
Oh, hold on. We're still in football, but how in the hell do the Yankee fans throw baseballs at players from the stands?
That's unacceptable.
How do you, any sport, how do you do that to anybody? You're a disgrace of a fan, of a person, if you throw in baseballs from the stands at people.
That's unacceptable.
Your team's going bad.
Yeah.
That's not a Yankee thing. That's not an Oriole. That's not an anybody thing. That's just you are a terrible person.
Very
you should be banned from all sporting events forever, no matter if you throw crap from the stands. Just unacceptable.
I agree.
Disgrace.
There's no excuse for that.
No.
It's very un-Yankee-like, very un-baseball. You shouldn't do that. We're early in the year. I mean, we're still in April. I mean, baseball season's a marathon. It's a 162-game season.
We'll get to baseball.
We're not even halfway through the year.
But baseball's all turned upside down right now.
Yep.
You got the Mets in first place, the Yankees in last place, the Cubs in last place, the Braves in last place.
Early in the year. It's a long way to go. It's early in the year.
Just keep that in mind. I think the Dodgers are doing well.
Oh, Dodgers are insane.
The Padres are doing horrible. Seattle's in first place. So baseball all turns upside down.
Seattle doesn't win. Yeah, that's an upside down season. You're right.
Just those teams I mentioned. It's very weird. All right. So then the next pick we got Carolina. According to CBS, they have Sewell going to Carolina.
According to Adam Schefter tonight, there's multiple teams that are talking to Carolina about Carolina trading back out of 8.
Who are they getting in 8?
They would move down from 8. I'm not sure where.
Who are people looking for with this 8th pick?
I'm not sure. I
would love to know.
I don't know who's interested in moving up. I'm not sure into that spot.
Interesting.
Yeah, so look for Carolina to potentially move, I guess, according to Schefter.
What do you
There's going to be
Rob?
a lot of this, man. A lot of this shifting draft night.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think Penei Sewell would be a good pick there. I mean, they already have good wide receivers. They have McCaffrey coming back. Darnold. I would definitely beef up the offensive line for Darnold. It'll be interesting. It's all about who's available at what pick. because you really just never know what the order is going to be. But it'll be interesting to see if they do trade back or not.
Look,
but it's all about who's available.
I see what John Mizek's doing. Saying they can get Darrisaw because he wants Penny Sewell to fall to his Broncos at 9. That's what he wants. I see what he's doing there. He just wants to coerce him into dropping Sewell to 9 so he could get his guy. I see what you're doing, John. Don't think I don't see that.
The Broncos I heard are very interested in Trey Lance. You think Trey Lance goes to the Broncos? The Broncos are 9, right?
They're a match made in heaven, both a disaster.
Trey Lance to the Broncos, that's pretty much a done deal.
Yep.
9. And you have the Cowboys at 10, right? I think the Cowboys have the good defense.
Yeah.
That defense is atrocious the last couple years. You can't keep putting Dak in shootouts and abandon the running game with Zeke and just have Dak throw for 300-400 yards a game with 4 touchdowns. And you need some type of a defense. That guy Micah Parsons would be great for Dallas.
Oh yeah.
I heard they like Pitts, but I just can't. Pitts was saying like it would be an honor to go to Dallas. I just can't see him going to the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys. Like, how much more offense do you need? You guys already have a good offense. Like, you need to do something
like the
about
Falcons,
that defense.
man.
Like, if you look at those Cowboys teams from back in the 90s, I mean, for Christ's sakes, the Cowboys haven't been in the NFC Championship game since, 1995, 96?
Yeah.
And this is America's team.
No,
back in the day when the Cowboys were good, they had a great defense. It wasn't
You're
just
no longer America's team, Dallas. Get the hell out of here.
It wasn't just Michael. It wasn't Troy Aikman. It wasn't Michael Irvin. It wasn't Emmitt Smith. They had a great defense.
I had to get that off my chest. Yeah. Look, I'm tired of hearing Dallas is America's team. They no longer are. It's been 26 years since you've been good. Get the hell out of here. You're not America's team.
That doesn't make them not.
You're not America's team.
Do you know why they're America's team?
If anybody would be America's team, it would be the Patriots.
That's what I think too.
No.
I think the Patriots too.
They won 6 Super Bowls.
Ever since 2001, when 9/11 happened and the Patriots won the Super Bowl that year against the Rams, I think the Patriots have been America's team.
They won
the
6
last
Super
years.
Bowls. I mean,
Dallas.
The Cowboys might be the more popular team because maybe they're worth more money.
Why they're America's
Jerry
team.
Jones,
America's team because they were good. Because they had fans all over. There's 3 teams in the NFL that have that: Pittsburgh, the Raiders, and Dallas. Those are the 3 teams that.
Well, the Raiders had that until today.
Well, the Raiders, but those are the Raiders. That's why they're America's team. Patriots people hate.
The Raiders, Everybody just hates the Patriots because they've been good.
Patriots travel well. They travel pretty well.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
I worked the Dolphins game, and I could say it was probably 80% Patriots fans and 20% Dolphins fans. So there's definitely Patriots fans all over.
I thought you were on my team, Rob.
Doesn't count.
Don't bring that up.
Yeah.
Patriots
fans travel well. I think they do travel well. I think it's just because they win. People are bandwagon fans. People just hop on the bandwagon because the team is good. They'll say,
look at JB.
They got so and so. Yeah, they'll hop on the bandwagon.
He's got Curry's jersey on.
You got to stick.
Curry's been doing great.
Yeah, you got to stick with your team through thick and thin. Your team's not always going to be good every single year and compete for a championship. Yeah, but people forget the Heat started off atrocious, an expansion team.
Yep.
The first year they might have won like 15 games.
1988. Yep.
88. We didn't make the playoffs till 92. It wasn't until the Heat got Pat Riley as their general manager and got Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway that they started becoming a real franchise.
I still have my Eddie Jones jersey.
A lot of people forget about guys like Glenn Rice and Ronnie Psyche. Those guys were
Dan Marley, baby. Dan Marley.
Dan. Yep.
Good name. Let's get to the
NBA. Going off the rails.
Top 10. Since we do the top 10 of the draft, let's talk about Curry and how unbelievable he's been.
Oh,
and why he should be the MVP.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna get the MVP only because his team is in 9th place, and it's pretty much an all-season award. The stretch over the last 3 games has been unbelievable. I mean, 11 straight 30-plus games, broke the late great Kobe Bryant's record. He has 21 10-plus or more three-point games in his career. That's 16 more ahead than his teammate Klay Thompson.
That's 16 more than anybody in history.
In history, yeah. Klay Thompson has 5. Steph Curry has 21. That's crazy. This guy just shoots lights out. It's unbelievable. The only other guy in the league that shoots as well as Curry honestly, is probably Damian Lillard. That's about it. They can shoot like him off the dribble and like do what Curry does. Curry is just like unbelievable to watch. It's like it's crazy to think how good this guy is. And how old is he? What, 32, 31, 32? I think.
One of the stats I saw after Sunday, and I'm taking this from somebody else on Twitter, one of the verified people. If Steph Curry after Sunday missed 600 straight 3-point shots, he would still have a better 3-point percentage than Reggie Miller. Yeah. 600 straight shots missed, and he'd still have a better percentage than Reggie Miller. Let that sink in.
Different game, different time.
But Reggie Miller.
Different game, different time.
Yeah,
Reggie Miller is considered the greatest, at one point, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time.
The 3-point shot wasn't as important back then. So Reggie Miller had a different game than Steph Curry had.
But not a lot of people had that stroke that Reggie Miller had and Ray Allen had. Not a lot of people had that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it was a different game.
Yeah.
You can't compare because the 3-pointer, you really weren't going for 3-pointers like they go. Now every possession you want to get a 3. Back then, a 3-point shot was like once every 4 or 5 possessions, if that. Now the first look always is a 3.
Yeah.
You're always it's a different game.
I definitely agree with that. Guys, instead of guys running for layups and dunks, they're running to the 3-point line to shoot. I think earlier in a game this year,
well, you can.
The Nuggets were playing. I forgot they were playing, but they said Michael Porter ran to the 3-point line to get the ball to shoot, and he missed the 3, and they lost the game. So instead of making the smart basketball,
4 guys. Was that 4-on-1 at the end of the game? 4-on-1, and 4 guys were all wide open, and he didn't pass any of them. And he missed it.
Yeah, you got to still make the smart basketball play. I mean, guys just fell in love with the 3-point shot more than anything. I think Steph Curry's really changed the way the game is played like nobody else, and everybody just thinks because Steph Curry works on his 3-pointer so much and shoots so well, I'm as good as Steph Curry. But Steph Curry is probably a once in a lifetime talent. I mean, we're never going to see a guy shoot the ball this well again, probably for a long time. I mean, we've seen some great shooters in the NBA. We saw Larry Bird. We saw Reggie Miller. We saw Ray Allen. I mean, this guy, he does it all. I mean, off the dribble, pull up, catch and shoot. I mean, I've never seen a guy shoot and the difficulty in his shots. I mean, watching that Boston game on Saturday night with him and Jason Tatum go at it. I mean, he did like a left-handed hook 3 shot. I mean, how many guys can make that shot, man? And like the shots he does, the degree of difficulty, he just makes it look easy. Like a 3-point shot to him is like a layup. And not only that, like he's great at people forget this about Steph Curry, even though he's a great 3-point shooter. People are so scared of him shooting 3s that he can get to the basket and get layups and floaters and do all these other things too. So you got to commend him on that part of his game as well, because they're so scared of him shooting 3s that they're willing to give him the lane and let him go in there and get a layup or a floater, because they're so worried about him shooting 3. They will not let him get off a 3-point shot. They'd rather see him go to the basket.
So a question for you. Compare his game to Giannis, who is another top guy in the league. But if you could stop Giannis from driving, you basically beat him, where Curry could still drive. So who would you rather have?
Me, I'd rather have Curry. I mean, Curry has shown what kind of leader he can be. He's shown he can take over a team and lead them through the playoffs. I know he's had great players, but Curry's also done it himself in the playoffs. You know, I mean, a lot of their championships, Curry's been a gigantic part. He's been the heart and soul of that team through all their championships, all their finals appearances, all these years. Curry's been the heart and soul of that team. So, I mean, not to knock Giannis, but you know, Giannis really hasn't done it. He hasn't shown that he can be the guy that, you know, he's a regular season guy. Playoffs come, and maybe it's because Giannis doesn't have as much talent around him, but when playoffs come, kind of shrivels up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather have Steph. Steph puts way more fear in your eyes because he could shoot and he can also get to the basket. He's proved that he can lead a team to the championship. And mind you, he won a championship without Durant in 2015, leading the Warriors to the finals. And I think that year he should have. I know Andre Iguodala did a great job in that finals defending LeBron James, and he had a great series. But that was because the Cavaliers were paying so much attention to Steph Curry. And it's kind of shocking to me that Steph hasn't won Finals MVP in all the finals he won.
But he's also a team guy.
Yeah, he's a team guy, but I feel like in the last finals that they won with Durant, he should have got MVP in that finals. He had a great series, and he was just kind of deprived because like people look at Durant as the bigger star, like joining the Warriors. But Steph definitely puts more fear into your eyes. I can't put Giannis over Steph yet until Giannis gets his team to the finals and proves that he can do it in the playoffs. We've seen numerous times Steph what he's able to do in the playoffs. He rises to the occasion. Giannis has to be able to do that. And going back to the All-Star game, the only reason Giannis got that MVP is because he had a perfect field goal percentage in that game. He didn't miss a shot, and he was getting like easy dunks. Not that anybody plays defense in the All-Star game anyways, but you look at the shots Curry and Lillard were making in that All-Star game. I mean, they should have shared the MVP.
Is Giannis going to be this day and age, our era's Karl Malone?
It's possible.
Is he going to be the guy that, was great in the regular season, but then, Karl Malone got to one finals, never won one, unfortunately.
I think he got to two. They got to the two against the Bulls.
Never won one.
There's been a lot of guys that have been great in the regular season. I mean, James Harden up until this point has been great in the regular season. Hasn't done it in the playoffs. I mean, obviously now he's on a great team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and we got to see how those guys do in the playoffs. But everybody knows the playoffs is a different animal. That's why the regular season, like you could do what you want in the regular season. Like a lot of teams don't even play their hardest in the regular season. Then they're waiting for the playoffs. A team like the Miami Heat
with the Clippers.
Yep. The playoffs is a 7-game series. Teams study film more. That they know your strengths and weaknesses. There's adjustments from game to game. You're not playing a different team every night, so it's a totally different animal. You compare regular season to playoffs.
It's not just game to game; it's quarter to quarter too. I mean, you watch those games, and you go from first to second, quarter in those games, and man, like those coaches make a lot of adjustments. Like even at halftime, they make a hell of a lot of adjustments. Like those games, they make a lot even at halftime. So you watch those games, that's how it is in the playoffs. It's just constantly you have to, be on your toes and be adapting. Otherwise, you're out.
Yeah, we saw with the NCAA.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we saw with the NCAA tournament. You guys think the NBA should ever try doing like an NCAA tournament style playoffs, where instead of having a 7-game series, you have maybe best of 3 or just single game elimination to make it more interesting. I mean, you definitely have some upsets.
So would you lump all 16 in there and not really, you know what I mean? Just go by best record on this side and best record on that side?
You talking about
or would you still do East West?
One game?
Yeah, or maybe just best of 3. Best of 3. This way, each team will get to play on their home court, and the team that has the better record gets the home court advantage. This way, the series aren't as long.
They should do it. What they should do is, next time we have a full season, which will hopefully be next year, take a Christmas break, shorten the season by 4 to 6 games, send them to Vegas, and have a tournament. And just draw as much as you can to it, and make it random. Don't have seeds or anything, because you got the playoffs for that. Just put everybody in a hat. Random seeds, random games, straight through.
Yeah, because you look at football and you look at the NCAA tournament. Like football is so exciting because you get to the playoffs and it's like single game elimination. Like really, anything can happen. The better team doesn't always win. Single game elimination. All those guys are putting their all into that one game because they know if they lose, they're done. But in the NBA playoffs, a team can go down 0-2 and pretty much throw the first 2 games or throw a game or 2 and still come back and win the series.
So if they did like a single game elimination if they tried that for a year, would you be opposed to them giving that a shot for 1 year in the playoff? Like a tournament, like you said, maybe 16 teams.
Too much money they lose. That's why it'll never happen.
Yeah, they lose a lot of money because the games
think about the
money.
Intrigue.
Yeah,
that's why I say you do it over Christmas. You do it randomly. You'll make a lot of money. It's all about making money. You don't want to fuck with you don't mess with the playoffs.
You mess with the bottom line, nope.
Yep.
But
watch that language.
You could do that in the regular season. Take a week off.
You take a week off. Get out of here.
But anyway, How about the Knicks? They're going to win again tonight. What is that, 6 or 7 in a row now?
Julius Randle's possessed.
Yep.
They
New York
are.
Knicks looking good. Get the
are the-
Yes No MSG channel up here. New York Knicks fans looking good. Looking like they're
Yeah.
going to make the playoffs. I'm happy for the Knicks fans, even though I'm a Heat fan. I mean, I always miss that. I hate the Knicks too, but I miss that Knicks Heat rivalry. That's something I miss about
Me
today's
too.
NBA. You just don't have the rivalries like you did,
No.
back then. That's something I miss,
I don't want
rivalries.
I don't want to think about Jeff Van Gundy on morning flight. That was so disappointing.
Oh man, and that's the thing. Players don't hate each other anymore. Like they used to hate each other back then. Like at least on the court.
There's no, to look at a guy without a foul. LeBron, if you look at him, so that's the problem. Not basketball.
Back then on the court, you hated each other. Off the court, yeah, you could be, fine. But on the court, you hated each other. Kobe hated other players. He wasn't buddy. He hated you. He wanted to destroy you. Players don't have that mentality anymore.
I agree. You can hate each other on the court, but you can be friends off the court. That's fine. Yep. And I think the biggest thing with having the NCAA tournament style playoffs in the NBA, it would give the lower seeds more of a chance to beat the higher seed, because an 8 versus a 1, like 9 times out of 10, an 8 isn't going to beat a 1 in a 7-game series or a 5-game series or whatever. But if it's one game, there's always that chance that an upset happens. And then you see that a lot in the NCAA tournament. So it gives the lower seeds more of a chance, because whoever's the 8th seed in either conference probably isn't beating the 1 seed. We know that for a fact. That's not the chances of that happening are unlikely. I mean, you could look at NBA history. I don't know how many times it might have happened. I remember the Nuggets beat the Sonics one year.
Yes.
I remember the Dikembe Mutombo on the ground. And it's happened a couple times. But
they got to fix this flopping stuff. They got to fix the flopping.
Yeah.
They got to just throw guys out of the game. You flop, you're gone.
They got to fix this. You lean into players and get a foul, and get your shot. Like, you shouldn't be able to lean into a guy and get a foul. Just doesn't make any sense. I saw Curry do that the other night, where he leaned into the dude on a 3. Great shot, circus shot. But he leaned into him and got the foul.
Yeah.
I don't like that crap.
Yeah, a lot of guys do that leg kick where they like kick out, try to get the foul, and they call it every time. The NBA's definitely gotten more soft as far as with the fouls. You see, a little slap on the wrist like this, it's a foul. Like back in the days, guys were like pushing each other, like bullying over. If you watch the Bulls and the Pistons and some of the 80s and 90s teams going at it, like guys were like tossing each other on the ground. And nowadays that would be like a flagrant foul. You're getting kicked out of the game.
Remember what Shaq used to do to guys?
Yeah, bully them over.
Shaq used to oh my gosh, what Shaq used to do. Oh, jeez. He just ran them over. He'd bully them, like you said. And it was just, I remember what he used to do to Vlade Divac.
Yeah.
But you can't do that anymore.
Hey, Megan, host of the NBA Carousel. How you doing?
Shaq used to call the Sacramento Kings the Sacramento Queens. I remember that. Yep.
And again, another heated rivalry.
Oh, I loved that rivalry. That was like my favorite right around that time.
Yes, but you realize that Sacramento got derailed by the NBA officials in the NBA league office.
Yep.
What a shame that was.
Yep. And that Derek Fisher shot. Oh my gosh. I remember all those great memories. Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, Vlade Divac tapped it out to Horry, hit the game winner.
Robert Horry, the original Big Shot Bob, Big Shot Rob. The original. He's got 7 rings and I have none. Can I borrow one of your rings? Can I get one? He's got 7.
By the way,
Big Shot Bob, big time shooter.
Megan said Zion ballin'. Zion came out the new shoe today.
Did he?
Yep, came out his own line of shoe, I guess. Nice. So Zion 1. Not a very creative name, but.
Yep, I think it'll be great if New Orleans makes the playoffs, and then they could definitely give whoever they play a good run. They have a lot of talent.
NBA
on that
would
team.
love that. NBA would love
right, so
New Orleans is going to be a popular team. They're going to be popular. They're going to be good for a long time.
Zion or Ja, who are you taking?
I gotta go Zion.
You're,
I think
you're
Zion.
not
I think Zion what? No,
You're
Zion.
out.
No, Zion. I think is gonna. I don't know. I think Zion's he's gonna be the face of the NBA, like the next franchise guy. Like you gotta love the way the kid is. You know, I think he might take over. Like once LeBron retires, I think he could be like the next face of the NBA. It's definitely possible. I don't know who else could take that torch from him. I mean, there's some other guys out there, but I think Zion is young enough where he could be the next face of the NBA. Is he going to be as good as LeBron? That's debatable. Probably not. But I mean, he's going to be good. I mean, he just has to work on his game and just keep getting better. The Pelicans have a good young team. I see them getting better. They keep all that young talent together. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball. Stan Van Gundy is a good head coach with a lot of experience. He's gotten teams to the playoffs before. Magic to the finals.
I hope Zion.
John Morant's going to be a good player too, and he did deserve to win the Rookie of the Year last year. I know Zion missed a lot of games, but John Morant's going to be good too. But I think Zion's going to just be more popular and probably the overall better player than John Morant. I'm not saying John Morant's not going to be good because he's great.
I'm trying to save his guest spot till the show here.
Go ahead.
I'm a huge John fan. I like Zion, but I'm in camp here with Ja. All right. So anything else going on in the NBA, guys, or we'll go over to baseball?
Nope, that's it.
So, Ja, what's going on in the MLB after I think everything's upside down?
So yeah, everything's upside down, like you said. This whole thing with the Yankees, the fans. That's not on the Yankees. Let's not put that on the Yankees. It's not fair. It just happened to happen at their stadium. Fans are just a disgrace. You can never do that, no matter what sport you're in. I remember years ago, early 2000s, when the Browns were playing the Jaguars, and the Browns were trying to get into the playoffs, last game of the season, and the fans were throwing stuff on the field at Browns Stadium, and a ref got hit with a boombox. A radio got thrown, and ref got hit with a boombox in the side of the head because a fan was an idiot. And they were throwing beer bottles. They ended up taking the players off the field and just calling the game right then and there because the fans were just disgraceful. Browns lost, didn't make the playoffs, and it was just embarrassing.
Are Philly fans worse than Cleveland fans?
Yeah, oh yeah, Philly fans are just about the worst. Just about as low varmint as it gets, except for anybody in my division. That's lower.
We got the Blue Jays coming up here to Buffalo to play.
Yeah, they're low. They're about the lowest scum of the earth, the Blue Jays. Right there with the Yankees, Red Sox, and Rays.
Yeah. Well, of course, you're expected to hate all their teams in your division,
I hate them with a passion.
John, take a ride to Boston, John.
I will never go. I'll never step foot in Boston. I can assure you that.
John,
I went there. Fenway Park. You should definitely check out Fenway Park.
I won't make it out alive because of my mouth.
Then go to Chicago and go to Wrigley, and then go to the West Coast.
Don't wear your Orioles stuff when you go to Fenway.
I can't help it. That's why I can't go.
Go incognito.
I would be dead.
Yeah.
You scare me, John.
Yeah, I scare me too. Don't worry.
So any developing stories in MLB going on?
Yeah. How are the Yankees one of the worst teams in baseball? How is this even possible?
Because they spent $200 million. Their offense isn't hitting. They're not the only team in baseball that's not hitting.
Yeah, but how do you have that big of a payroll and have those kind of expectations?
Bad front
be that
office.
bad.
It's a bad front office. They're investing in the wrong players. Judge and Stanton, as good as they are, get hurt way too much.
I mean, they invested a lot in Cole, and he's been amazing.
One pitcher isn't going to win a division.
Yeah, well.
And what they got the one pitcher for, they still lost the game when they had a pitch. So
it's not his fault.
He's $40 million to play one every 5 days. Should not give up a hit. That's it.
Should not give up a hit. I mean, you can't expect a guy to be perfect.
$40 million. I expect him to be perfect. There should be zeros across the board when you get.
You know how hard that is to be perfect.
Zero. I don't care. $40 million.
It's been 19 perfect games in history, I think.
No. I'm talking about during the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
God, regular season, he can have a 3 ERA for all I care.
Oh, okay.
$40 million, he's the go-to guy. There should be zeros across the board. There's no reason for it.
That's what you're calling your ace for.
And guess what? He's 0 for 1. And
Well, I'm happy about that.
Really?
I don't like the Yankees. Do you need me to tell you more about it?
John, when do we go to Yankee Stadium, John?
I won't make it out alive, and I'm sure you can't help.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Yankee.
It's like me as a Dolphins fan. If I go to the Bills Stadium, I'm kind of scared Bills Mafia might tear me apart if I wear anything Dolphins into that stadium. And I go see the Dolphins play the Bills.
And I wouldn't want anything to happen to your Dolphins gear. And you.
Yeah,
and you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta be careful. I mean, because I went to Buffalo Wild Wings wearing my Dolphins stuff, and I remember I was there for that game.
You can't go into any Buffalo Wild Wings and wear Dolphins stuff. Just can't do that.
I made it out okay, but I'm just saying, like, I was there for the game when they played Arizona with Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray threw the bomb to DeAndre Hopkins, and I was like cheering. I was so happy that Arizona beat them, and they were stunned, and everybody was like looking at me. This one guy was saying like, "You're a douchebag," and whatever. I was cheering for Arizona. I was like, yes. And I think there was like one other Dolphins fan that was in the bar with me, and he came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I heard you cheering." You know, it was crazy. But yeah, you got to be careful. Definitely got to be careful. Like, you can root for your team, but just don't talk trash. You know, like root for your team. But just like don't talk trash. You know, especially when you're outnumbered, you can't talk trash. Like, you can still root for your team. Wear your jersey, wear your hat, whatever, your shirt. Just don't be like, like talking trash and like root for your team. I mean, if somebody's going to talk trash to you, that's one thing for wearing it. But, they should respect you to the fact that you're a fan. It's like not everybody's going to – just because you live in a certain town. Just because I live in Buffalo doesn't mean I have to root for the Bills and the Sabres or all the teams here. I mean, the Sabres stink anyways.
The Blue Jays.
Yeah, the Blue Jays, like there's plenty of people who live in Miami that are fans from other teams, I saw plenty of Steelers fans, Patriots fans, Packers fans, like Jets fans. Like you got a lot of New York fans down in Miami, so you see a lot of Knicks fans, Jets fans, Giants fans. I mean, you root for the team you like whatever team you like. That's your team. That's your team. I mean, some fans go a little bit overboard, just because.
Yep. You're
wearing a different jersey or something.
They ruin the fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking trash is okay. That's about as far as it should ever go.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a fan. At the end of the day, you're a fan. You're not a player. You're a fan. You should never talk trash to the players either. I don't like when fans do that sometimes.
Ozzie Guillen's my favorite. I heckled him back in the 90s. The guy gave me the finger. I love him for after that. He has a personality. I didn't curse at him, which, as long as you're not cursing and not making it personal, I think it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you're,
They need to be heckled. They make a lot of money. They can deal with a little heckling.
Yeah, as long as, like you said, as long as it's not like overboard, crossing the line, that's okay.
And most of those guys ignore it anyways. They're not even like saying anything back to you. Like I went to a Marlins game in Miami and they were playing the Nationals, and my friend and I were out in right field and we were like calling like Bryce Harper like a leprechaun because he kind of looks like a leprechaun with his long hair and beard and everything. So we were calling him like a leprechaun and everything, and he wasn't saying anything back. I'm sure he heard me, but he didn't say anything back. I mean, I was screaming.
If he would have given me the finger, I'd have been.
He didn't even look back. He didn't even look back at me.
I once heckled a guy in an Orioles game. I think it was like an A's player or something. And I heckled him like all game. And I got to like the 8th inning and I kept heckling him. And he finally turned around and started laughing. He acknowledged he started laughing.
But that's awesome. He responded.
Yeah.
That's all,
yeah. But I was fair about it. I wasn't like swearing or nothing like that.
No.
I don't do that.
First of all, there's kids around when you're at a game.
Yeah. No, I don't.
You don't want to do that.
No.
But, heckle is fine.
Yeah. It's part of baseball, especially. It's part of baseball. Going to a baseball game.
Yeah, baseball is kind of like the boringest sport to watch. It's because it's kind of like slow. So it's like if you get fans doing that, it kind of makes it like more exciting.
Yeah.
Like football and basketball are so like fast paced. With baseball, it's like you can't. It's hard to go to like a baseball game and sit there like for 9 innings straight without like walking around or doing something. That's why people they get food, they walk around. Like Marlins Park, for example, they have like the Clevelander, which is like a club, like a bar. You go there, you can like chill, eat, drink, whatever. So it's like people walk around. They have like Like stadiums are like that's the thing I like about baseball stadiums. They have like amusements and stuff in there. I mean football stadiums have clubs too, and like arenas and stuff. They have like clubs and stuff too. But baseball stadiums a lot. I think it'd be cool, like if you had the money to be able to go to like all the different like stadiums and just see how they're different.
Oh yeah, except Boston and New York. I won't go there.
I've been
Or
to
Toronto.
I went to the old Yankee Stadium though before they knocked it down,
The old Yankee
and then I went
Stadium was
to
beautiful.
Fenway Park a few years
Sorry.
ago. I saw them play the White Sox. I just think as a fan, it's just fun to go there because it's like
I just don't want my feet to burn. That's all.
Those places are historic.
I know, but I don't want my feet to burn.
I hear you, but
So you know what I mean. Like I like to
playing.
my feet. That's that's like it's like stepping into hell. I don't want that. I don't want my feet.
If they're not playing the Orioles, you're good.
No.
Yeah.
I can't go there. It's crossing enemy lines. I just don't do that.
Yeah, I hear you. I saw them play the White Sox when the Red Sox played the White Sox. That's the team I saw them play. And believe it or not, the White Sox beat them. But I got to see all of Fenway Park. It was a really nice stadium. I went up to
Fenway's beautiful.
Looks like a dump.
Really,
God.
They kept it.
At me, Red Sox.
Stadium. Red Sox fans are all over the place too. That's another team you see all over. No matter where you go, you're going to see Red Sox fans.
John, your goal
not as many as Yankee fans, but you'll see a lot of Red Sox fans.
What's my goal, JP?
You should experience all these great parks. I'm not saying you have to root for the teams.
I will experience.
Don't go to the new Yankee Stadium because it's garbage. But go to Fenway Park, go to Wrigley Field, go to Dodger Stadium, go to Petco, and just put aside as a Yankee Stadium. It'll be the same thing then. But
I have 25 other stadiums to visit aside from Orioles Stadium. 25 more. That's it. There's 4 I won't visit.
You're killing me, John. You're killing me.
I have my loyalty. My loyalty runs deep.
Wow. On that note, anything else going on in the MLB?
Nope. Rob, steak well done?
Yes. Steak well done.
Yeah. My man. Dolphins eating steak well done. Woo.
Yeah, you're agreeing with John. This is not good for you. Not good.
You guys have been doing this show a lot longer than me, so I know you guys know each other pretty well.
Just gotta agree with me. That's how you survive.
No, never agree. I agreed way too much last week, so it was just
entertainment. We're just trying to put on a good show.
And now look, his his third hurts, his back hurts, his feet hurt. Like he's just falling apart. Like you got some sort of like virus.
Like you're just chilling. You're chilling in the couch. You're chilling on the couch, man. Just kind of laying back.
Just relax. That's what
we're about to do when we get off, man.
Yeah, but I think that's it. So, Rob, where can people find you?
Check out some of my articles on the East West Football Network. I write for the AFC South, and then my podcast, The Diamonds in the Rough. Supposed to be having another episode coming up, episode 11, interviewing this guy. Used to be a sports gambler. He was a big time sports gambling addict. So we'll talk about sports gambling, and now he's like a mental health expert. So we'll kind of get to interview him and ask him some questions. It's a pretty new podcast. It's going to only be my 11th episode, so I'm trying to promote it and get it, more out there, and definitely get some guests on, have some other people come on, talk sports, whatever might be going on. So, like I said, if you guys ever want to do a show and want to come on, like you're welcome. I'll do the show, and we can schedule something. So,
yes.
And you guys ever want to have me on another show? I'm welcome to come on.
JB's like, well, maybe.
We're willing to work with each other. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys adding me to the.
I don't know the Dolphins. You're out, man.
All right, wow, you're all New York guy.
Yeah, I like old New York, but I'm with the Nets from Brooklyn.
Oh, you're from Brooklyn. I'm also from Brooklyn. So my mom likes the Giants.
Giants,
She likes the Mets. She doesn't like the Yankees. She likes the Mets. Giants, Mets, and that's it. I think. I don't think he's a big basketball fan. I think she likes the Heat, like I do. Yeah. She's not really big basketball. But yeah, the Nets are doing well this year. But I'd love to see them and the Heat play in the playoffs. I think that would be a pretty entertaining series. I'd be looking forward to that matchup if we get Heat Nets in the playoffs. That was a good game on Sunday, even though Durant, exited early. Came down to Bam. Yep, Bam with the jumper. Heat won last night against the Rockets. They blew them out. Yeah. What do you make of Tyler Hero being more of a celebrity? Tyler Hero's been more of a celebrity. The Heat are kind of like disappointed with the way he's been acting and been struggling the last couple of games.
Yeah, I was seeing that. There was something out today about that.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Tyler. I hope he gets it together.
Where can we find you?
Me?
You and your medium rare goofy steaks.
Wow. So everywhere you find podcasts is the program. I'm here on, Sideline Sports. The NFL carousel. I produced the NBA carousel, hosted by Megan Price, who was telling us that Zion has 29 points. Will was here for the carousel as well. And wherever else I may be, you never know. What about you, John?
You can find me here on Twitter. You can find me BlueHawks13. NFL Carousel, covering the Ravens during the season with Alex Fleming and Eric Wilson. And JB is there too, covering the Chargers. NBA Carousel, covering the best team in the NBA, the Miami Heat. And, that's where you can find me. So that's about it for me.
So that was our show tonight, guys. Jake should hopefully be back next week. If not, maybe Rob, maybe Bryce, maybe somebody else. You never know. Who will be here? Stay tuned. See you next week. And
Remember,
John,
Julian Edelman has a punchable face.
Remember, punchable faces and how many playoff losses the Nets will have. That's it for tonight, guys. Have a good one.
All right.